Well, thank you, Dr. Williams, and it's great to be here. I guess that intro proves one thing, and that is I'm getting old. But it is good to be here today. It's great to be on your campus. Fulton Financial and Fulton Bank have had a long time relationship with Elizabethtown College, and it's been an excellent one. We have a number of employees who are E-Town grads, and we hire grads from your school into our management training program each year. In fact, in the last 10 years, we've hired 12 people from E-Town into our training program, and they've all been outstanding employees. So, thanks to Dr. Williams and thanks to M&M Mars for holding this, and let's get started. I have a presentation today that hopefully you'll find interesting, but I do think that the most valuable part of any presentation can be the give and take that we have afterwards, and so I would encourage all of you as we go through the presentation to be thinking about any questions that you have in regards to banking, Fulton Financial, Fulton Bank, any business topics you want to talk about, any questions you would have about my career, or any questions that you might have about your careers and things you might want to pursue. I'll field as many questions as I can. So today we are going to talk about creating value for our constituencies. What I hope to cover is to define for you who are our constituencies and why they are important and how we create value for each one. I'm going to talk a little about how the regulatory environment has changed for our industry, the importance of culture and core values. I'm going to talk a little about our own strategy for our organization. I will encourage you to think about how you define value yourself. And I'll close with thoughts on what I think the role is for our employees or team members. And then I'm sure we'll have plenty of time for questions. So I'm already one slide behind. So just a little background on Fulton Financial Corporation. You know, Fulton Bank actually was formed in 1882 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we were a bank that served Lancaster County for many, many years. In the 70s, we expanded into Dauphin County. I joined the bank in 1979, and at the time, we had 16 branches in Lancaster and Dauphin counties, and we had about $400 million in assets. Today, we have 254 branches across 5 states. We have six separate banks, 4 in Pennsylvania, 1 in New Jersey, 1 in Maryland, and then Fulton Bank also extends into Delaware and Virginia. We have grown quite a bit through acquisitions of other institutions. So just to give you a little history on banking laws, prior to 1982, a bank in the state of Pennsylvania could only have operations in counties that were contiguous to their home office. Pennsylvania was pretty late in changing their banking rules, so a lot of states got ahead of us. That's how North Carolina actually has become a banking center, because they were one of the first states to change their banking laws, and it enabled those banks to start acquiring. In 1982, Pennsylvania changed their banking laws to allow us to form holding companies and expand basically wherever we wanted to expand. And we started acquiring banks. And between 1983 and 2005, we acquired 22 banks across the 5-state footprint. We currently operate in 52 counties in our 5-state footprint. And we have a market share position that's either 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th in 16 of the 52 counties that we operate. In our strongest area is central Pennsylvania, and if you look at central Pennsylvania defined by Lancaster, Lebanon, Dauphin, and Cumberland counties, we do have the #1 market share position in central Pennsylvania. So acquisitive growth has been very important to us, but organic growth is just as important, and that would be just us getting more and more customers through our own sales. We do trade on a NASDAQ under FULT, and we've been a member of NASDAQ since 1982. We get invited up to New York every 5 years to either open or close NASDAQ, and it's a really cool experience if any of you ever get to do that. So let me start by talking a little about our purpose for being in business. And like most companies, we have a mission and vision statement. And we mention all 5 constituencies that we need to deal with and that I will talk about today. But in our vision statement, we see ourselves as providing solutions that result in lasting relationships. You know, we think it's not just good enough to, or it's not enough to have just a good relationship with our customers and clients. We want to be the key to helping our customers achieve their financial goals. And we do that through personalized, appropriate solutions, help us deepen our relationship with our customers so that they will continue to come back to us for all their financial services. We need that to grow organically, and we value customers who value us, who value our expertise and our relationship. I'll tell you, we have a lot of challenges right now in our industry, and one of them is the basis of this, is to provide that relationship that customers value, to add value for our customers. And a challenge is that, you know, more and more, you all, especially younger folks, you do all your banking through technology. And you don't spend a lot of time talking to people within our organization. And we are, as an industry, working hard to find ways to be able to add value through technology. And it will be, our ability to do that will be very important as we move forward to continue to capture that retail market. Now, conversely, our strongest business is with small businesses, and small businesses still rely on their banker for expertise and for solutions to provide them a financial success. So from a changing environment, it's, the banking industry has changed a lot more on the retail side than it has on the corporate side. So here's 4 of our 5 constituencies, and a constituency is defined as an important part of the whole. In politics, constituents are the people politicians have been elected to represent and to serve. In business, it's a collection of audiences who elect to conduct business with us, invest in us, or make our existence possible. And we have an obligation to serve them effectively because they have chosen us, or they have chosen to give us the opportunity to serve them. And these are 4 of our constituencies. Our employees serve our customers. Our customers have a lot of different choices, and we need to make sure we serve them. Our shareholders are a very important constituency, and they've been willing to take risk with us, and we need to make sure we can reward them for that risk, and we do that through dividends and through increasing earnings, which increases our stock value. And finally, every community that we live in and work in, we consider a constituency, and it is our obligation to give back to all of those communities. And they would be the ultimate collective benefactor of our value propositions. So we believe that satisfied, successful employees create satisfied, successful, profitable, long-term customers who in turn create satisfied and successful long-term shareholders. You know, it's not rocket science. It's a simple, common sense approach that creates common bonds between each group for each to experience success. The constituencies are interdependent. They all need the benefit, and they all serve each one in a certain way. Now, there are conflicts with each one of those. So our shareholders, for the most part, don't care that much about how we treat our employees to make them successful. They care primarily on the end result. And our customers don't necessarily feel that way. And our customers don't really care about our shareholders. Now, we do have a lot of shareholders and customers who are both, but a lot of our customers want as inexpensive a service as they can get, and that doesn't necessarily benefit our shareholders. So it is a challenge that we have to make sure that we can keep the four constituencies interdependent upon each other, and believe that by making our employees successful, they'll make our customers successful, our customers will make our shareholders successful, and then all of it goes together, and we benefit the communities that we operate in. A fifth constituency we have are our regulators. And you know, prior to the financial crisis, we did not list our regulators as being one of our constituencies, but today they are. A lot has changed in our industry since the financial crisis. There have been massive regulations put in place for our industry, and the way that our regulators go about examining our institutions have changed considerably. So we've gone from an environment that we had regulators that were concerned that we didn't violate any regulation. Today, we're judged by the regulators, and they look at us, and what they want to see is that we have processes in place that will ensure that we never have any violations. And it's been a challenge for our entire industry. It is we've hired many people to help us meet those obligations. Now, since the end of 2009, when this whole change started, our salary expense has increased by $21.6 million. And out of that number, $21 million is for people who make sure that we have no violations on our regulations. $600,000 has been for people who actually go out and get more business for us. Prior to 2009, I would say the exact opposite occurred in our industry. Most of the people we hired prior to them were people who could get more business for us. So it's been quite a shift, and it is another challenge that we face as an industry and as a company. We do believe that we create value through caring, listening, understanding, and delivering. About 5 years ago, we surveyed our customers to ask them what they felt created value for them as customers. And this is what they told us, that genuine caring for them as customers was important, that our ability to listen intently on what it is they had to say and what they need was important. So if you do those first two things, you do gain an understanding of our customers' personal and unique financial needs. And then in turn, we need to be prepared to deliver to our customers the products and services that helps them meet their financial goals and have a financial peace of mind. They also told us, and we think this is very critical, but they don't think we have to be infallible, that we can make mistakes, but we have to be really good at solving people's problems. When a mistake occurs, we have to be able to solve that problem, and that is a big part of the value that we create for our customers. And we need to do it effectively and as efficient as possible. So value creation doesn't just happen. It's built on the foundations of culture, core values, and strategic execution. You know, a company's culture is built over decades, and it reflects the type of people in your organization, the priorities of past and current leadership, and aspects of behavior that were emphasized and rewarded, and those aspects that are not emphasized and rewarded. And core values are also built over decades, and they're the embodiment of how and why an organization conducts its business and how it views each of its constituencies. And I would suggest to you, as you go through your career in business, every company will have a set of core values, and they'll be very similar. I'll show you ours shortly. Every company has similar core values. Some companies embody them and live them, and some don't. And what you need to do as you go through your career is match your personal core values with the values that the company has. And if they coexist together, you can have a very happy and successful career. If your core values are at odds with your company's core values, then I think you need to think about possibly looking at a change. And then strategy is simply the roadmap for the organization to arrive at its future destination. And execution is being able to adjust to the challenges and opportunities that arise while you are on that journey. So companies' values over time determine the ebb and flow of its value set. Unlike core values, which generally should not change over time, value sets may change based on strategic challenges and opportunities. For example, right now in our company, the ability to change is a value that we are emphasizing, and accountability and performance are values that we are emphasizing. Collaborative value is being addressed also at our company. We've added a lot of new talent over the last 5 years to help us in a lot of those areas that our regulators feel are important now. And there has been conflict created by bringing in new folks between, the old way and the new way. And so teamwork for us is very important. It's always been important, but right now we're spending a lot of time on making sure that we're all working together. So we believe that individual and organizational and emotional health value has always been an important part of our culture, but it is something that needs to be monitored and worked on all the time. So foundational integrity and ethics values are either part of a company's DNA or they're not. And the degree to that they're reflected in the organization's culture is largely determined by a company's core values. I recently heard a statistic that I thought speaks to service and purpose value, but 90% of the major corporations that had failed in the United States over the last decade had great strategies. What they didn't have was a purpose. And a purpose is your reason to exist. Without a reason to exist, there is not a shared desire or commitment to do so. So my job, one of my jobs as the CEO of Fulton Financial, is to be able to inspire people at Fulton with a vision and, more importantly, a purpose for making our communities a better place. And the acid test of purpose is if your company goes away, will anyone miss you? And if they won't, you did not have a purpose. So here are the 11 core values of Fulton Financial. They drive us organizationally and behaviorally. They have been built over a century and a half of service to our constituencies. They are unchanging and they are non-negotiable. A team member at Fulton Financial who does not embrace, share, and exhibit these core values probably will not find us all that attractive as an employer, and they will not feel part of our team. Every decision we make or any initiative that we undertake as a company should and will have one or more of these core values at its roots. In short, core values serve as an organization's moral compass. So take a minute to go over these and think about how each of them might relate to our constituencies. So it's really impossible to address a value creation topic without touching on our strategy. And we believe in keeping things as simple as possible. So we do have 3 important components to our strategy. And the first in red, as you can see, is that we want to achieve operational excellence. To do this, we are working to simplify our company on the inside. That helps us reduce costs and deliver services more efficiently and effectively. In green, we need to achieve growth. And growth is the primary reason why an investor buys our stock. You need to grow your top line to grow your bottom line, and that pushes your stock price. But to be able to do that, we need to differentiate ourselves on the outside of our company, so we can differentiate ourselves from our competitors. And growth fuels opportunity for all our team members. And finally, thirdly, in blue, we're focused on talent management and requiring greater personal accountability for results from every member of our team. And we want to create an atmosphere at Fulton of continuous learning. It's really critical in today's world. It's hard to explain to you right now how much change you're going to see over your career. And I could spend some time telling you about the change that's happened in my career, but you would laugh. You would absolutely laugh at some of the things I would tell you was in place when I started at our organization 36 years ago. We didn't have cell phones. And we didn't have computers at our desks. As a matter of fact, we had typewriters with something called carbon paper. You probably don't even know what that is. And we had to go to a drinking fountain if we were thirsty. But everything in our business has changed in the last 35 years. And everything will change as you go through your career. And it's amazing As you go through day by day stuff, you think nothing's changing. But if you stop 5 years from now and look back at where the world was 5 years prior, it will just amaze you. So never stop learning. It's the biggest thing I can tell you today. It's critical. I just heard the other day, I love this, you know, when you stop learning, that's when you get old. Some people stop when they're 25, some people stop when they're 85. So that's the best piece of advice I can give you today. Continue to learn. Talk a little more about operational excellence. We do need to simplify our company. We are in the process of strengthening all our centralized support services. We've migrated from a highly decentralized organization to one that has a lot of our services centralized. And our decentralized strategy for years worked very well for us. But with the changes in regulation and what we're expected to do now as an organization, we need to have a centralized organization. And just to give you an example, it's a conflict that our employees have had as we changed to this new environment, because we were always focused on providing the best solution we can for every customer that we have. And we still are. But in today's world, we have to always treat every customer the same. And if we don't, we have issues with fair lending. So in the past, you know, one of the great things that community banks did was they knew people in their community, and they knew people who would repay their loans, and they knew who wouldn't repay their loans. So you could stretch to make a loan for folks who might have a little more debt service, but you knew it was going to be repaid. In today's world, we can't do that. The regulations that have been put in place require us to treat everyone the same. So anyone who comes into any one of our 254 locations across our footprint, who has a credit score of 720, and they want a $20,000 loan, we have to be positive as an organization that if someone goes into northern New Jersey and with that criteria, and someone else goes into Maryland to one of our branches, and someone else goes into Virginia, and they have the same credit score and the same type of asset structure, we have to be positive that they all get the same rate and the same terms. And if they don't, we violated a regulation. So, you know, that has caused us, not just us, the entire industry has invested millions and millions of dollars in technology and processes that enable us to have those types of controls. As we've done that, not everything that we put in place at first was as efficient as it should be. And now that we have everything in place, we're working hard to make it far more efficient. Technology has been a big part of helping us be able to do that, and will continue to be a big part as we move forward. And as I mentioned earlier, growth is very important for us, and we need to create stronger customer relationships, and we need to get more customers. We've been pretty good at doing that because we do think that we provide better service than our competitors. We have to distinguish ourselves on the outside so we have a competitive advantage, and when we do it through caring, listening, understanding, and delivering. We've been broadening our technology because we do have a huge customer base now who thinks that technology is the most important part of delivering the right service to our customers. We've been streamlining our product development process so we can get new products developed quicker. And all of these initiatives that we're working on help us more fully devote ourselves to caring, listening, understanding, and delivering. And that is the value creation process that we talked about a few minutes ago. And it is ingrained in all our employees. And finally, talent management is our third strategic initiative. We do believe that our most important asset are our employees. We believe that very strongly. It's our employees who help differentiate ourselves from our competitors. And we hear it from our customers all the time. But we need to help our team members develop new skills, enhance their performance, and be more accountable for helping the company achieve its goals. So we are trying to help our team members become lifelong learners, as I mentioned earlier. That continuous learning is incredibly important. And as the world continues to change, our company needs to change as well. And to do this, we need to make sure that we're providing employees with ways to keep learning and growing. As you advance through your career, you want to move up. And it is, we believe, a joint responsibility. It's our responsibility to grow as a company and provide opportunities for our employees to take the next step if they want to do that. But it's our employees' responsibility to understand how they need to develop, what they need to learn, what courses they might need to take to be ready to make that next step. So as you get out into the world, remember that. It is a joint responsibility. So we are working very hard on that. And I think it's a lot of it's training and development, and we spend a lot of time on training within our organization, and we also encourage folks to continue their education, whether it's a master's or a specialty within the industry. So our discussion today is around value creation. So I thought it might be helpful to define the term. Every one of our 5 constituencies does view the delivery of value in different ways. And one action may create real or perceived value for one constituent, but that same action, as I mentioned earlier, may create absolutely no value for another constituent. So value creation is not a one-size-fits-all. There is conflict, but we try to manage that conflict in the best that we can. So at the end of the day, all of our constituencies have value created. And as I mentioned earlier, right now it's far more challenging for us to create value on the retail side than it is on the business side of our customers. So, there's real value and there's perceived value, and you need to understand the difference. And I'll try to give an illustration of the difference between real and perceived value. But, think back to a product or service that might have been provided to you for free. We have a number of them. But then all of a sudden, we decide to charge a fee for that service. And our industry is actually really famous for doing that. We've done it many times. It usually backfires, and we end up not having the fee. But when that happens, we've created, even though there may have been a value for you for that service, we created the perception that there is no value because we gave it to you for nothing. So if we start charging and don't add any enhancement to it, our customers do not like that. And that's because they perceive the value to have a value of zero because we gave it away free. But if we increase the functionality of that service, then we have a better chance of being paid for what we're providing. And so that's just a quick example of real and perceived value. So let's take a look quickly at how each of our constituencies perceive value in what we do. And when we talk about our employees, they want challenging and meaningful contribution. They want to be able to have a challenging and meaningful contribution to our success. They want the ability to grow personally and professionally. They want recognition when they do a job well done. They like to be a part of management and feel that their ideas are important and they're part of the process. They want teamwork and they want accountability. And they do want to constantly learn. Our customers, on the other hand, want us to have creative yet simple financial solutions. They want options, and they want us to give recommendations. They do want us to care, listen, understand, and deliver. But they also want to do their banking at any time and at any place. And that's why we have mobile banking now that lets you do that. They want high tech and high touch. They want red tape to be kept to a minimum. They want to get answers quickly, and they want their problems solved quickly also. And finally, they want to be treated with dignity and respect. And our shareholders want a competitive and reasonable return on their investments. They are taking risk in their investment. They want return of our earnings in the form of capital that comes back to them in the form of dividends and stock repurchase programs. They expect regular, scheduled, clear, and concise shareholder communications. They want a candid assessment from management of the corporation's challenges and opportunities. And they also hold management accountable for results. And our communities expect us to share personal time, talents, and corporate financial resources. We expect the officers of our corporation to be involved in at least 2 community or nonprofit organizations, and they all are. And we provide a lot of money to all of our communities to support nonprofit agencies, to support the arts, and things such as that. They expect us to be actively participate in community affairs. They want us to be good neighbors and good bankers. They expect us to celebrate diversity. They want us to work to improve the quality of life for everyone. We work alongside community leaders to find solutions to community problems. And hopefully, we will be around for a long time to be able to do that. So now that we have seen how our constituencies view value creation, I wanted to give you an opportunity to consider how you personally define value in your banking relationship. So just take a moment, review the items on this slide, see if some of them are important to you. And just hold that thought, because I'll come back to it in a moment. But before we do, I want to take a look at how the regulators view value creation for them. Well, they expect us to have a culture of compliance. It's a responsibility of every one of our team members. They expect us to have a robust internal audit function that's independent and is accountable to our board. They expect us to have technology-based, consistent processes around every key risk area of the company. They expect us to hire the required talent and expertise. They expect us to have enterprise-wide risk management. And they really have a zero tolerance today for reporting areas. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of this has changed over the last 5 years, but it is very important for us. And as I mentioned earlier, prior to the financial crisis, our regulators came in to see if we violated any regulation. And today, they come in to make sure we have processes and technology in place to make sure that we never have a violation. And it's been a huge change for our industry. So let me kind of close and start to close by recapping our value proposition for our customers, or for our constituencies. It is all about our customers. It's about our customers' financial needs. It's about our desire to be able to provide the services better than other financial institutions in the area. And it's important that we're able to continue to do that. So hopefully you have concluded that the value proposition on our screen aligns with what you determine you want from a banking relationship. And finally, I just wanted to take a minute to talk a little about what we expect of our team members. And I think what you'll see on this slide is what many companies expect from their team. So it should give you some thoughts as you go through your career. But it is important in today's world to be able to identify risks and understand how to mitigate them. I would tell you that as you go through your career, it's very important to be curious and don't be judgmental. So when you hear a thought or someone throws out an idea, the easiest thing to do is say, you're crazy, that will never work. That's a judgment. What you need to do is be curious and say, oh, well, that's a good thought. Why, or what, or who? Just be curious to every idea that comes up. Always be open to change. Always be willing to grow and to learn. Always look for ways to create value. It's really great when you start out to find out ways to create value for your boss. Then he'll really like you, or she'll like you. Get involved in your community, wherever you live. Value diversity. It's really important in today's world to have diversity and understand how different people think. It is not good to have an organization of people that all think the same. You've got to have different thoughts, and you got to value those thoughts. And finally, whatever business that you go into, focus on your customer. And we tell our people, everyone who works has customers. Some of our employees, customers, are the people who have products and services with us. But we have other employees who never see our true customers. But their customers there are other employees that they're doing work for. So it doesn't matter what position you always have a customer. Your customer may be someone that's buying a product, or it may be another employee within your organization. I can tell you that banking is going through a very challenging time, but it's also very exciting. And you'll find as you go through your careers, it's challenges that create opportunities, and you'll get more opportunities in your careers when your company that you're working for is going through challenging times. It's really when you have the opportunity to show the value you can create and to help your companies move forward. So always remember, challenges create opportunities, and it gives you the opportunity to help us shine as you go through your careers. That is the end of my presentation, but I think